Mr. Kiran Rijiju, you say that all of this started with a High Court order. May I tell you, the Manipur High Court order came on the 14th of April. Violence broke out in early May, 3rd and 4th of May. It was on the 3rd of May that the All Tribal Students Union of Manipur called for a protest. So there is a gap of about 17 days between the order of the High Court and violence actually breaking down. In the interim, did the government fail to understand the repercussions that this High Court order could have had?
No, I was the law minister at that time, and when the High Court passed an order, I was also a little bit disturbed because the recognition of any community as scheduled tribes is totally a policy matter. And there are criteria how a particular group is to be defined and given the status of scheduled tribe. So High Court is not the forum to declare a particular community as scheduled tribe. But the Manipur High Court had passed a direction that within a specific time period, the Meiteis should be given the scheduled tribe status. Now, the fallout of this High Court order has been felt across the country, especially in the hills of Manipur where the tribals reside. They took out a very, very large procession which is against the High Court order. In a way, they wanted to send out a message. So that procession which took out in Churachandpur turned into violence. Now, I am not going into the details of how it led to the violence, what were the incidents and how it was counter-reacted and all. I'm not going into that. But that procession which was conducted by the tribal students group, that actually triggered into the subsequent violence which occurred. So, of course, the Manipur government could not have comprehended that that procession in Churachandpur could result in such a violent crisis, and that was a cascading effect right after that violence in Churachandpur, the immediate retaliation which happened in the valleys, and in Manipur, the valley, the Imphal Valley, the foothills are also having large numbers of Kuki villages. So the attack and counter-attack started happening in the valleys also. So that spiraling effect was so sudden and so widespread that it was so difficult for any government or any apparatus to handle. I fully understand the situation, but the reaction from the central government was very swift. The deployment of the force and everything was very, very prompt. But as I said, because the clash, the nature of the problem was so widespread, it is not confined to one place or one locality. It is across. So that is why that unfortunate incident which happened, and then the tragic killings of many innocent people, and then large numbers of arms were looted by different groups. So that happened so rapid. That is why we have to handle it carefully. Now, as what Rahul Gandhi has stated, that Indian army should be used, and what this nonsense going on in Manipur should be stopped within 24 hours. This kind of immature statement is not going to do any good for the tragedy which has happened in Manipur. Army cannot just blindly get into action and start firing the people. This is as I repeatedly saying, this is not a clash of few groups. It is a larger conflict between two dominant communities. So in this kind of situation, it is easy to say that stop the violence, but it is not easy to really use the force and bring the peace forcefully. Use of military action and military operation should be the last resort. Let the state government and the central armed forces in a coordinated manner handle the situation so that the collateral damages can be minimized. That is why you have not seen even a single case where central forces had caused any death of the civilian population.
So, Mr.